better isolated when you're using the ivory. So I need to braid that a little bit more. It's a little wider than I should have it, but maybe it'll go. Not the greatest flake, but you get the idea. I really didn't isolate that platform well enough. Probably didn't have it abraded well enough either. Alright, what are we looking at? Now we'll hold it up over here. There's some mass over here that needs to be removed. Smaller bopper is really safe for removing these little flakes. Doesn't create a lot of shock. Also doesn't create much impact. Let's switch over to the bigger one here. Remember to space your flakes out. You don't want the next flake to dive into the valley of the preceding one. It creates problems. Might get, this is kind of a not the ideal shaped platform. It's a little bit too close to 90 degrees, but if I don't try and punch it in too far, I think it'll be okay. Just a downward stroke and remove some of this. Not like that. Didn't hurt anything though. We'll turn the edge here. Now we got a little bit better angle. Don't want to drive that too far, or I'm going to end up with a problem there. I just want to maintain my flatness, so to speak. Just isolating that a little bit there. That went pretty well. Let's see, we still got a little curve in here. Let's see here. There's always a lot of different options a guy can take. I could start removing more in here. I've got a little curvature right in here. So maybe I should just go ahead. It would be safer right now to deal with this. It can be done later, but at more risk. So sometimes these little things here are very time consuming. You're not removing much mass, but you've got to be careful enough that you don't screw it up. So when I'm working toward the tip here, I try to take a little more caution in what I'm doing. Smaller bopper. This one I'm driving right practically parallel to it. Okay. Let's see if that shows up in there. Yeah. So we flatten that out a little bit. Now I want to get rid of this little funky thing right in here. Didn't really go the way I wanted it. These pads are slipping all over. Yeah, what we'll do here is we'll just kind of do this trick like when you're working with a slab and you got a square edge. And kind of get rid of that square edge, or in this case, this incorrectly too blunt of an angle of a platform here. this angle here is not good. I guess you can see in there. It's bad. So, just trying to drive some tiny little flakes down there. I could continue on with that alternate beveling, but I'm going to lose a lot of edge, and I don't really want to do that. I want to try and sacrifice or save as much width as I can so I can get a nice wide, flat, thin biface out of this thing. Okay, that brought that edge a little bit closer to the center line, center plane. So now, got rid of that square edge. Now I can go back up. I'll probably get rid of this first, but I'm closer to the center so I can make my platforms a lot easier. And I think I probably lost a little less width than I would have if I'd have done the alternate beveling. You can see that's too thin, and it's not strong enough to support a large flake, so I really need to thicken that up, brush it down a little bit. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and take some smaller flakes, thicken that edge up a little bit. The edge has to be thick enough to support the impact from the percussor so that it doesn't collapse, especially when you're dealing with copper. If you're dealing with antler, you can probably get away with it a little more. These are lead-filled copper boppers, by the way, because that's obvious. It's so typical in Napa when you get ready to remove a flake and you see something else that's just begging for attention. So I see one here. Okay, now I can switch over to the bigger bopper. Clean up that area right in there. Alright, here's how it's coming along. If I try and remove more flakes in here, this could be a problem. I think, yeah, we'll create a platform over in here to drive flakes off on this face here. Again, this little bopper really works good for that. I'm driving these down so that it doesn't create any little problems on this side of the platform. It's still not quite what I want it to be. Again, it can take several sets of flake removals in order to get your platform just right, but it is that critical, I think. You just wail away at it. Flakes aren't going to travel as far, and you won't get to the end point as efficiently. This grinding stuff is pretty critical. If you don't get it ground just the right amount, I mean, you can look at it and you're getting ready to hit it and you just know it's not strong enough. There's no ridges on here, so I'm not trying to drive a big one here. I'd end up with